in Seward, Alaska. We were supposed to go out fishing today in Resurrection Bay, but because of the weather, we decided that it's probably not good to do that. We've had a couple guys get sick this week, including myself, and we want to stay out of this bad weather every opportunity we get. But you know, coming to Alaska, there's a lot of things you can plan for. There's a lot of things you can't. One of them is bad weather. God's in charge of the weather, so we just sort of play around his schedule. But one of the things you can plan for is how to prepare your fish to make sure it gets back home safely. Because when you spend all the money and all the time to catch salmon and halibut and all these great fish here in Alaska, you want to make sure that it gets back home and it's not spoiled. So in just a minute, I'm going to take you to someone, J-Doc Seafood here. They process it, they package it, they freeze it, and get it prepared for you to take home. We're going to meet Tamara in just a minute. And she's going to tell us a little bit about the process they go through and how to make sure your fish gets home safely. Let's go. Hey, there's Tamara over there working hard as usual, I guess. We been talking a little bit about processing meat and how to prepare fish when we get ready to head home from Alaska after a long day catch. And you're in the business of processing meat. You got just a minute to tell us a little bit about J-Docs?
I'd be happy to tell you about it.
All right, let's go. All right, so this is your processing area?
It is. This is where we're going to take care of everybody's fish. So we start out, we clean the fish, portion it. After everything is portioned, it goes back into the buckets. It stays tagged with the customer's name so that we make sure we keep the fish straight from the time it enters until the time it gets shipped out.
It must be pretty hard to keep track of everybody's fish.
You know, we've got a pretty good system here, and we make sure that we don't have any errors. From the time that it gets weighed in, it's weighed by separate species. The tags stay with it all the way through and tracked in the freezer so that we avoid as many errors as possible.
Take me through the process. I just caught some salmon. I bring it in to you. I weigh it in first.
Well, typically the captain would fillet it. Okay. If you were a private fisherman, then we would fillet it for you at $2 a fish.
Okay.
Once the fish comes up, the fillets get weighed out, and the customer instructs us as what they'd like done. Typically, it's cut into 2 people portions, which is about 1 pound per bag.
Okay.
If they wanted something as whole fillets or smaller portions, that can be done. There's additional charges based on what they want. Afterwards, it comes into the back room here. It'd be cleaned and portioned. Then it gets bagged. And after it's bagged, we would use the vacuum sealer, which is a commercial sealer. A lot different than the food saver that somebody has at home. It's a lot more professional. After the stuff has been sealed and frozen, we freeze it at 30 below zero. It can stay for a year to 2 years and still taste like you just caught.
You take all the air out of it.
Absolutely.
There's not going to be any.
No, there'll be no freezer burn. The bags are a 4 mil bag, which means it's very thick and will hold for a very long time.
That's great. That's great. What are some of the types of fish you bring in here other than salmon?
Typically, we have salmon, halibut, lingcod, and a variety of rockfish.
Okay.
Occasionally there'll be some other species, a dolly barb and something, but primarily those are the 4 species.
Great. Well, we'll get some video a little bit later of them processing when one of the catches come in, but tell us a little bit about J-Docs. I know I read on the internet that it's a family-run business as of 1993, was it?
Well, J-Doc was originally J-Doc Fish Company, and the current owner has owned it for going on 7 years now, and it's become J-Doc Seafood Company.
Okay.
We actually have a charter company here as well, a clothing store, a lodge, and our own boats. And since then, we pride ourselves on customer service. We try and make sure that we take care of everybody. We deal with any needs that need to be done. And we deal with a lot of retail fish as well, so we have very high standards for how we handle it. We want everybody's stuff to be as premium as possible when they get it home.
You know, I guess that's pretty important. Somebody spends thousands of dollars to come from North Carolina like we have, and we come up here and get our fish processed. We want to make sure that when we get home, that it's still fresh.
We want to make sure that you can enjoy the trip that you had for a year or more, depending on how much fish you have. We want other people to taste that fish and then get on our website and order something themselves.
And what would that website be?
It's www.jdock, that's J-D-O-C-K, seafood.com.
jdocseafood.com. We'll put it on the bottom of the screen too.
There's a live webcam on there also.
Oh yeah, I've seen
If you ever
that.
wanted to see your friends catch or somebody came up here, if they get on the website, they can view the webcam 24 hours a day and you can see what's coming in.
We were watching that camera a month before we got here, so
Good.
we could tell what fish we're biting and what the guys were bringing in
Good.
long in advance. So, all right, well, good deal. I guess we need to get our fish packaged up. We've caught a little bit this week.
Excellent.
Anything else you want to say about J-Docs?
No, I think you're doing an excellent job.
Okay, all right, appreciate it.